Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome to You Can Talk. I know it is Saturday night. I know you all have not seen me in a very long time, it seems. It feels like it's been, gosh, at least 2 weeks since I've been on. We spent a week on vacation and then which was really awesome, doing something really local close to home. And then we also spent I just got busy with work, so work has gotten crazy busy, and so it's been a struggle trying to figure out when I'm going to be able to come on and when I'm not, what's working for me. So I'm going to have to kind of work out a new schedule for the summer and for the fall, because life is happening and changing so quickly. So we'll see what my future here is going to look like. But anyway, I hope you all have been doing good. And I am wanted to come on tonight because, like I said, I haven't been on in a while, and I wanted to check in with everybody just to let you all know. Let me make sure I can see myself. Okay. I just wanted to kind of check in with everybody, see how they were doing, see what's been going on, all of that. So anyway, tonight I wanted to talk a little bit about sharing, because I know this can definitely be a struggle sometimes in a relationship when we're trying to decide, or even in a marriage, when we're trying to decide, what we should share, what we shouldn't share, how much we should share, how often we should share. It can be a big struggle trying to figure out what it is we want to share with the person that we love and care about. Hey, Cindy, how are you, sis? Good to see you. I was hoping I was live. So for some reason, I hadn't been on my computer in so long, I had to kind of like re-log into everything. So it was kind of crazy. But yeah, I know I haven't been live in a minute, but I'm going to try to work on figuring out a new schedule for myself. I'm going to try to keep my Saturday nights when we're not doing any, family stuff or whatever. But other than that, I don't know what it's going to look like during the week right now, because things have gotten so crazy busy. But anyway, so we're going to have this talk tonight on some different things that we should consider when we are trying to decide what we should share, what we shouldn't share, or if you're even thinking about marriage when you're kind of dating, maybe what you should consider sharing and maybe what you shouldn't share. All right. So, because I know that can vary amongst a lot of people as well. Some people feel like you should share everything, right? That nothing should be kept secret, that anything about you, if you're trying to be in a relationship with someone, then you need to share those things about yourself, and they want to know everything about you. So hey, Harrison, how are you? Good to see you. Welcome. I know it's been a minute. I've been trying to make my rounds though, but yeah, good to see you, and happy upcoming Father's Day if I don't get to talk to you on Father's Day. But yeah, I'm going to check out your video on 3 things because I could use a few suggestions for the father in my house. All right. But anyway, so yeah, we're going to talk about what we should share and what we shouldn't share. Like I said, some people feel you should share everything, and some people feel like the things that we share should really kind of be on like just a need to know basis. Like they share what they think you need to know. If it's relevant or pertinent to you, then people will share those things. But if it's not, then they tend to keep their mouths closed. And we all know these people. And you may be one of these people, right? You may be one of these people that's like, oh, I just tell people what they need to know, which is perfectly fine. But let's talk about some things. I wanted us to kind of talk about some things that we should share. I myself personally, I'm a big sharer. Like I do share a lot, but just because I'm a big sharer, I do share a lot of things. People think that I'm sharing everything, and I'm not. I have a lot of things that I keep, close to the gird, close to my heart, that I will never share unless God calls me to share these things. And then there's some things that I'm only willing to share with people in the right space and in the right time and amongst the right people. if it's the right situation, if God is calling me to share it, then I'll, go ahead and share. But then, like I say, I do have those things that I don't ever tend to share with anybody. So, except for God. So, we all probably have those things. Hey, Burns, how are you? Oh, thank you so much for shouting me out today. I appreciate that. You shouted me out the other day. I thank you so much, Burns. I appreciate you. I'm working to stay busy here on YouTube. Things have gotten, like I said, kind of crazy. So I appreciate all the help. I'm like 3/4 of the way there. So I'm trying to hit those 1,000 subscribers and finish out those watch hours and all that stuff. So I'm still trying to restructure my schedule around work. I mean, has anyone else been having, like, has your life changed drastically since things have kind of opened back up from COVID? I mean, it just seemed like my life went from 1 to 100, like within a matter of days, and everything's like full speed ahead. And I'm like running, trying to catch up. So, I mean, has that been the case for everyone, or is it just me? Yes. Okay, good. Yes, changed a whole lot. Yours has changed too. Hers. Okay, great. So I'm not the only one. I'm like, whoa, I can't even keep up. I'm like, this is kind of crazy. It went from 100 to, stop. And then once things started opening back up, it was like, boom, everybody's in a race to, get stuff done and needed things, yesterday and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's been a struggle. I've been struggling, y'all. I apologize. I'm struggling trying to regroup here and restructure my life and family time and get some family time in now that we can actually like get back out into the world, which is, kind of nice. I mean, we're still protected. We've got our vaccines and stuff, but my babies, they're only 3. So they, they can't be vaccinated. So we still have to be careful. We still have to watch, like what we're doing and what they're doing and who's around them. And so we really try to schedule our events and times around times when we think a lot of people aren't going to be around. And we even went to the pool today early in the morning because I knew nobody was really going to be there. And so as soon as people started arriving, it was like, okay, time to go. But they had a good time and we had a good time. So yeah, we're just doing different things. And if any of you all are thinking about coming to Texas or thought about coming to Texas or and you don't know where to stay, we checked out a new resort that they built here in Austin, Texas. Called Kalahari, Kalahari, Kalahari Resort. And it was phenomenal. It was absolutely beautiful. So make sure you check that out. It was nice for us because we don't live a really long ways from there. So it was within driving distance for us. But it literally felt like we were transported into another area. So without having to get on a plane or use a passport and all that stuff, which we have all that stuff, but it was just kind of really nice to get away and feel like you were getting away, but still be kind of close to home. So anyway, check it out. See if they have one near your area. I think they've got like 3 in the country. But yeah, they got one here in Round Rock, Texas, outside of Austin. Which is not a really long ways from where I live, but close enough for us to go. So yeah, check that out. And I'll get back to it here. But yeah, so we're talking about sharing. How, like I say, I'm the type of person that, like I say, I will share a lot, but a lot of times people think because I share so much that I'm willing to share everything, but that's not the case at all. I share the things that I'm comfortable with sharing. I share the things with my husband, with my very closest, bestest friends that I'm comfortable with them knowing. I'm sure we all kind of struggle with this sometimes with what we should share and what we shouldn't share. I really do feel that how much we are willing to share about ourselves really does have an impact on the longevity of our relationship. The more open you are with a person sometimes, the more they feel like they genuinely know you, good or bad. So if they stick around, it's because they genuinely like you or they're genuinely interested in you. And so I think it helps to build longer lasting relationships. If you share very little about yourself, it's kind of hard to build a relationship with a person who is not willing to share. I share, but not everything. Right. Exactly, Verns. I'm the same way. Not everything. So there are definitely some things that, like I say, we keep close to the heart. But, everybody feels differently about that. Everybody, because I mean, we meet some people and it's like they don't have a single secret. We know everything about them, right? We sometimes you can meet a person and you feel like you may have only known them for a little while, but it feels like you've known them for a lifetime because they've shared everything about their lives that they, could possibly share, stuff you want to know and stuff you don't even want to know. But so, it makes us feel like we've known them for a lifetime. And then you see people who've been together for a long time, or people who you have known for a long time, and you may realize you know very little about them because they don't share a lot. So I mean, I don't know, I think there's pros and cons to both. Sometimes the less you know about a person, maybe that is a good thing. Maybe that works in the favor of the relationship. But I think when we're talking about building authentic relationships built on trust and integrity, I think that it is important to share as much as we can, as much as we're able to, as much as we're willing to, and as much as we want to, as much as God is calling us to share. So like I say, I don't know how you feel about it, but like I say, I want us to talk about some things. Now, the Bible doesn't say a whole lot about what we should share or not share when it comes to sharing. But arguably, if you were married, really, based on like what's in Genesis, right? Chapter 2, verses 24. For this reason, a man shall, leave his mother and father and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh, right? So if we look at that scripture and sort of take that in, then it's like nothing should be kept secret, right? Nothing should be not made known. So you could argue that point, right? If we're one flesh, that there's nothing about me that you shouldn't know, and there's nothing about, you that I shouldn't know. So you could argue that. And then also he says in Luke chapter 12, verse 2, he's written up that will not be revealed, that will made known. So you may think that you are, keeping secrets, or, being, there are things that they don't know, but eventually a lot of times things will come out. And sometimes that's when we realize, man, I really didn't know this person, or, maybe I need to spend a little more time like I thought I knew. I can't believe I've known you all this time or been in relationship with you all this time, and I never knew these things about you. And then it can make you question the whole integrity of the relationship. Like, do I really know you? Are you even, who I thought you were, right? So then that can build some trust issues and cause some problems. So, there's a lot of things that you could argue about whether, how much you should share or not share. But then also, when I was looking in Proverbs chapter 11, verse 13, it says, whoever goes about slandering reveals secrets, but he who is trustworthy in spirit keeps a thing covered, right? So maybe that's if somebody shares something with you and they ask you not to share it, then, if you're a trustworthy person, then you'll keep that thing covered. So anyway, this leads us back to the questions. Should we share or not share? Oh, hold on. Let me plug up my computer here. My battery is about to go here. Okay. All right. Got to get some juice. Hey, Natural Larissa, how are you? Good to see you. Welcome. I appreciate you being here tonight, popping in. We're talking about sharing, how much we should share, and, whether or not we want to share, or some things that we can consider if we are thinking about sharing. I believe that there is a time and a place for everything to be made known, even within our relationships. Maybe there's some things that you want to share with your partner, but you're not ready to share them, right? Or maybe you think they're not prepared or ready to listen, right? Maybe they're not ready to hear, or maybe able to take in what I have to do. You're waiting. I know if okay, am I here? Okay, close. All right. I know that if I have something heavy that I have to share, with my husband, then a lot of times I will, ask God for the discernment of when is the right time that I need to share this with him. And I know he does the same with me. Um, okay, it's a little, am I still fuzzy? Because I can hit the refresh button. Am I still fuzzy on y'all's screen? Can you tell me? Hey, Lady B. Ashley, good to see you. Good to see you. This is good conversation. Good. I hope this is something that you need. Yes, that's wisdom. Yes, thank you. Okay, am I clear for you all, or am I still a little fuzzy? I'm good. Okay, fantastic. So, what are some things that we should consider when we are trying to decide what we should share? Like I said, if you share something too much too soon, I know a lot of times, like especially if you're in the dating phase of the relationship and you're in the like engagement phase of the relationship, then you really feel like, I know I really felt like I wanted to know uh, as much as I could needed to know, because what I absolutely despise really is when you make a long-term some type of long-term commitment with someone, and then as soon as y'all get together or make a thing solid, they reveal this like unbelievable information that you're like, what? um and that can be very disheartening. Hello, Life with Shanice, how are you? Good to see you. Is that good morning? Is it morning in your town? It's night here. So wherever you are, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. I appreciate you all being here. So, when it's a first date, I know I haven't been on first date in a long time, but I have, friends and coworkers that are still, dating, in the dating phase and engagement phase, and recently married, and different things such as that. Um, and they, some of them share everything, right? Like I have a friend that shares everything. Like there's a whole list of things that they like to just divulge because they want to know up front how the person feels about a matter, whether it's something relationship wise or something political wise, or, just how you feel about different issues and stuff. So they can be, they're very upfront about, how they are and how they feel and what they've done. And sometimes it has turned people off. And sometimes people think that they can handle a thing like, okay, I think I can handle that, but then later they realize, you know what, this may be a little bit too much, right? So I think you kind of see it all, right? I think you kind of see reactions to it all. And then you have people who don't want to share, they share very little about themselves, or they only share the good things about themselves. And then as well into once we're, feelings have developed, all sorts of things have sort of happened, then, you realize they have all this stuff to tell you, and you're like, oh my goodness, like I already started developing feelings for you, and now you lay all this heavy stuff on me. That can be very difficult to handle. Let's see, it can sometimes hurt you in the long run, right? Exactly. It can to me. So it really is hard to figure out that fine line of when to share, how much to share, what you think the person can handle. Because at the end of the day, you want to be able to be your authentic self, right? You want to be able to be you. You don't want to have to hide who you are. You don't want to have to hide things about your life or your past, or because you want people to accept you for who you are, because there is nothing more beautiful than being loved for who you are. Right. So in order to receive that type of love and know that that person loves you, you have to be able to, divulge information about yourself. So, it's just a matter of, well, when do we do that? Right. When is a good time to do these sorts of things? So here are some things that I think we should absolutely consider. That's true. Not everybody can handle you. That's right. That's right. And I need to know, can you handle this? Right. I'm this way. I'm that way. I like this. I like that. I don't do this. I don't do that. My expectations are this, and my expectations are not that. That this is who I am. So I try to, share as much as I can that I think I definitely want the person to know about me. And then other things they may have to try to pull out of me, right? There may be some things that they may ask that they may have to try to pull out of me because I'm not going to just willingly, let the person know that, maybe I struggle with time management, or I'm a messy person, or, I have habits or whatever that may not be to everybody's liking, or whatever the situation is, right? They may have to pull some of those things out. Like, if you ask, then I'll share, but if not, I'm not going to just volunteer that information. So anyway, for sure, if you are in the engagement phase or dating phase, or even in the married phase, you want to share your short and long-term goals. Um, and I know this is difficult, but you want to share that you are not on time, right? That's true. I'm rarely on time. I try to get close to the time as possible. I'm usually never more than 15 minutes late, unless there's something like just extenuating outside of my circumstances. Don't be sharing my stuff. Don't be sharing my stuff, sister. So anyway, no, she is right though. Short and long-term goals, for sure you want to share those things. And I know that can be an evolving thing, because even in marriage, especially if you're married, sometimes those things change. Yes, please thumbs up the live. If you're here, hit that thumbs up button. If you're not a part of the Talk family, if you're not, you want to become a talker, you are a talker, hit that subscribe button and join this family, because I got lots to share with you. Okay. So you want to share what your long and short-term goals are. And I know that can change. I know just recently I have developed a long-term goal that was nowhere on the horizon when I first met my husband, right? So, and now I have this long-term goal that I'm like, oh my goodness, that God has sort of made known to me, and I have clear revelation about now. And so now I'm going to be working towards that. And I had to share that with him. And that was a little bit nerve-wracking, because it really wasn't something that we were necessarily thinking about long term, right? So, even if you're married and you have, goals in the beginning of the relationship, and you think, yes, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. A lot of times God will come in sometimes, or life will come in sometimes and make changes for you, right? All sorts of things. You can get sick. You can get in an accident. God can reveal a revelation to you. A hobby can turn into a job, or, something you've done part-time, like just being on social media, can turn into something long-term for you. Like, you really never know. So I feel as much as at the moment, you should be willing to share those things with your spouse. Well, this is what I would like to do. These are sort of my long-term goals, or the person you're dating or whatever. It's important, because they may decide they don't want to be involved, right? So it's important for them to have the opportunity to say, oh, is that what you want to do? Yeah, no, I'm not really into that. I'm not feeling that so much, or that requires more commitment than I think I want to be involved in. So, these are some of the reasons why you should share what you want to do. And really, you want to share because you want someone on board with you, right? You don't want to get into a relationship with someone and you don't share something with them because you think that maybe they won't be into it so much, or maybe it won't be something that they'll want to do with you. But you end up having to reveal it later, and then they get off. They decide they don't want to be involved in that, right? When you probably should have told them up front, because you knew all along that was something you wanted to do, right? So these are things why I think it's important that you should share as much as you know about what you want to do, about your short-term goals, your long-term goals, all of that. So be upfront with that as you can. Share with them what you think it will involve. What your expectations would be around that. Maybe it's something you would want somebody to partner with you with, or maybe you're okay with, you just doing it by yourself, but you don't want to have to fight with them about you doing it, right? Like maybe they don't want to be involved, but they don't mind you doing it, right? So that's why these kind of conversations are important to have. Another thing you want to share are the intentions, your intentions about a thing, like or even especially about the relationship. I'm looking for this. Um, Whether you want to be a husband or a wife, or if you want to be a mother or a father, if you want to be the provider, if you want to be a homemaker. I know a lot of times people get in relationships and they think they marry somebody who's working, and then all of a sudden they decide they don't want to work anymore. And it's like, oh, wait a minute, like we never talked about that. We never talked about you wanting to be home. And now, we got to regroup and restructure. I wasn't making plans for being a single income household, right? So these are things you definitely want to talk about. Are you looking for just somebody to share your life with, right? Maybe you're not looking for any of that stuff. You're just looking for somebody to travel with and do fun things with. And you're not really looking for anything serious. And so these are things that you definitely want to share. Spiritual beliefs. This is a big deal. A lot of times people think that when we're sharing our spiritual beliefs, that it shouldn't matter, right? It shouldn't matter if you have different spiritual beliefs or whatever. But it really does matter. And it really is important to share these things because it helps you to understand. Thank you. Still here listening, Natural Larissa. I appreciate that. It really is critical to find out where they place their values and how maybe those values were developed, right? It really kind of helps you get to know what matters to a person, what doesn't matter to a person, and maybe why certain things matter. Maybe you need to develop an understanding of why they think the way they think, or act the way they act, or do the things that they do. Or work for the things that they're working for. So it really is important to talk about what your spiritual beliefs are, whether you have them or whether you don't, like whether you're an atheist or agnostic or something, different than what they are, then it's important to talk about those things, because you think that it doesn't matter because y'all get along so well. And, it shouldn't matter. But later, if you decide to, develop something long term, it matters when you're deciding if the person is very involved in their spiritual practices, or if you start having children and you want to raise your children in your spiritual practice, all that type of stuff. So it really makes a big difference. And it really is important to talk about those things because it can potentially cause problems later. Health issues. This is something that I find a lot of people don't share until something drastic happens sometimes. If you have something that's not going away or could potentially, be debilitating long term, they have a right to know. If you're trying to build a relationship with a person, they have a right to know. And this includes like mental issues, or if you struggle with anxiety or depression, or if you've had some trauma that has caused some issues with you. Even just some of your basic family health history. Share these things with the person that you're in relationship with. You don't want to be out on a date with somebody, out enjoying life or doing something, and all of a sudden you pass out and they're like, what on earth happened? And, because they don't know that you have this situation or that situation, or y'all make plans to travel somewhere and you're doing something and your anxiety creeps up on you. And rather than you telling them that you have anxiety or that you struggle with anxiety, you just, opt out of doing all these things. And so, after a while, maybe they become to get upset. Like, well, how come you never want to do the stuff that I, want to do? Or you never want to do this, you never want to do that. And they think that you just don't care, or that you just don't like it, or whatever it is. But it could be that you struggle with anxiety, right? So these are all things that you want to share with the person that you are trying to build a relationship with. I know people think that their personal health issues are their personal things, but really you need to share them, especially if you have something that could affect you long term, something that just runs in your family, so that they won't be surprised and say, oh, I remember them telling me this ran in their family. So maybe, you might help pull out some things or help them recognize some things that they might not would recognize themselves, right? So, or they may be able to help you with your issue, all of it. So many reasons why you'd want to share your health issues, with the person that you're trying to build a long-term relationship with. Your financial situation. OMG. Um, I know a lot of people do not want to share their finances, or share about their finances. And you can be discreet or limited about that. But if you have debt, especially if you have debt, right? And everybody has some form of debt, right? Whether it's your house or your car or a student loan or, a personal loan or something. Everybody's got some kind of debt. I know very few people who have zero debt. But if you have some extreme bad debt, if you're thinking about seriously being in a long-term committed relationship or a marriage, especially if you're considering marriage, let the person know. Tell them up front. Be honest about your situation, because they may be able to help you. They may want to, restructure some things about how y'all do some stuff so that you can get out of debt. They may help you out of debt. They may have what you need, right? To be like, hey, don't worry, I can erase and take care of all that for you, right? Whatever the situation is. Either way, let them know. I think one of the most, people think that betrayal is often just a person cheating on you, right? But betrayal for me is also when we keep things secret and hidden from our partners. That's also another form of betrayal. So if you have that can cause trust issues. So if you have things that you're keeping secret that could be detrimental to the relationship, that could potentially cause some trust issues or some damage in the future, talk about those things. Share with them up front. I find that people are more forgiving of us when we are honest, when we are upfront, because they can handle that better than the betrayal. Okay, so it's really important. It goes over much better when you can, have, honesty, be honest with a person and just let them know, hey, I'm struggling with this. I'm dealing with this. I got in this situation and this is the result of that. I'm working through it. I'm working on it. Are you okay with that? Whatever the situation is, because people appreciate that, and they know that they're more willing to work with that than they are willing to work with you being dishonest or secretive about your stuff. Okay. So definitely talk about your financial stuff. Your relationship history. I know that this can be a sticky area for people when it comes to, how much they want to share and how much they don't want to share. And I'm a firm believer that who we're dating and who we're married to, will either bring the best out of a person, or we can either bring the worst out of a person. So just because you were dating somebody in the past who kind of brought the worst out of you does not mean that you can't find your mate or your spouse who can bring the best out of you, right? So, and they can know you very differently. Because this person, maybe you were with somebody, y'all argued all the time, you never got along, you fight, it was toxic, the whole thing. But then you meet somebody else and, it's wonderful, it's healthy, it's open, it's honest, it's loving, it's all the things that you cherish. And then they hear this other person saying bad things about you, like, I don't know, that's not the person I know, right? That's not the person I know. So, sometimes, you don't want to share too much too soon about your past relationship. I'm really good at giving people an opportunity of showing me who they are for themselves. I don't always, if I hear something bad about a person, I don't always judge, that person by what the horrible thing that person said. I will give them opportunity to get to know them for myself, because I can get along with a lot of people, and I can everyone's different. Everyone's very different. So you may get along with this person, you may not get along with that person. You're the same person. You're the same person. But two different people can have a very different opinion about you based on their interactions with you and based on their relationships with you. So, share about your past relationships, your maybe what worked, or maybe what some of your struggles were, what some of your strengths were. Maybe you want to share why it lasted, or why it broke up, or whatever the situation was. But it's a fine line. So whatever you're comfortable with sharing, and whatever they're comfortable with sharing with you, take it in. But take it as a grain of salt, and get to know people for who they are and who they're showing you for who they are. Be careful. This is one thing that yes, thank you. Please share me out if you can, if you have that ability. One thing that I know that is a fine sticky line when it comes to past relationships is sharing about intimacy. Please don't do this. Don't share about how big your man's thing was, or what her stuff was like. Those are things that we don't need to share in our new relationships. Okay. Those are always and never go well, right? Don't compare, don't criticize. Really try to avoid doing that. And even though the person may respond like, oh, really? Or like, that's interesting, or maybe they're, happy about it, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, wow, you really said that? You really told me that about your ex, right? So that never goes over well. Okay. I'm just take it from me. It never goes over well. So don't talk about your past intimacy, the body parts and all that type of stuff with your new spouse. They don't want to know it. They don't want to hear it. And it's just best not to share it. Okay. So please take that off the table of things that you're thinking about considering sharing. Because I know sometimes we can get really comfortable, with our new spouse, and we think that they want to hear that, or with our new person, and we think they want to hear those things, but they don't, and they don't want you to say it about them later, right? They don't want you sharing about them later. So, stay away from that. And I find that a lot of people do that. A lot of people do that more than they should. Don't bash your ex. If y'all had a bad relationship, don't bash your ex. Let them be, let that go. Because really, it looks bad. It looks worse on you than it does them. It looks worse. I know we think that bashing our exes makes us look better, like we weren't the reason for the issues in the relationship, that it was all them. But it takes two people always. So, because honestly, at one time you loved that person, at one time, that person that you're talking so horribly about, you chose to be with, you chose to love, you chose to engage in life with, and all that type of stuff. So it really looks bad on you when you talk horribly about your ex, so try not to do that ex bashing when it comes to stuff. Hey, Minister of Music, Terrence Shower, happy belated birthday. I know it was your birthday yesterday. It was good to see you. I wanted to come up last night, but I was so tired. I was in the bed looking all kind of ways. So, but it's good to see you. Happy birthday. I hope you had a wonderful birthday. You're awesome and phenomenal. And I just appreciate everything that you do. And I hope that God blesses you with many, many more birthdays. I don't know what's in store for your future, but I know it's going to be great. So, and I pray that I get to, see it and be a part of it, and just witness it, so I can tell others about the goodness of God and what He's done in your life. So, good to see you, and thank you for being here. So we're just talking about stuff that we should share and not share. I have a few more things that I'll share. Vices, for sure. If you have some vices that you, whatever, smoking, drinking, sex, whatever your, vices are, share those things with the person. If you're an addict, anything that you are addicted to, if you're a food addict, a drug addict, whatever your addictions may be, a gambler, a shopaholic, all of it, share those things. It's important for them to know. Those are things that we don't want to keep secret. So, depending on the status of your relationship, um, be willing to share some important things that the person may need to know about who you are, and what is important to you. People cannot get to know us. They can't love on us the way we want to be loved if we aren't willing to share things about ourselves that are meaningful and important and that matter to us. We make way too many assumptions that the person should know, or should, if they're for us, that they're just going to somehow magically be the perfect person for us. They're going to know what we're thinking. They're going to finish our sentences. They're going to, know what we want and know how we are, know what we like and what we don't like. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. I'm afraid not. So if you are under that impression that that's what it's going to be, let me just erase the board for you, and let's rewrite some important stuff on here that you need to know. And one of the things is you need to share the things about yourself that are important to you. You need to be willing to talk about what you like, what you don't like, what you're into, what you're not into, what you want, what your expectations are. What your struggles are, what all of it, be willing to share. Don't just expect a person to know and then get mad when they don't. How could you not know? How could you not know that I don't like that, or that's not what I wanted, or these different things that we get mad at people about and think that they're not the one for us, when really they could be the one for us, but they just really haven't had the opportunity to get to know us and really know who we are. So be willing to reveal your soul. Is there anything that you all are struggling with trying to decide what you should share? And maybe you could use some suggestions as to how you can share it. Do any of y'all have anything that you want to share, even if it's just with a friend or a coworker? Maybe you're struggling with trying to tell somebody something. You want to be honest with them, but you don't know how. Put it in the chat, and then I can give you all some suggestions for how you can share the situation or the issue, maybe without it becoming confrontational or argumentative, like argue, like where you're fighting about it. So if you have anything that you are struggling with that you want to share, but you haven't figured out how you should share it. Sorry, there's a little gnat in here. How you should share it. Yes, of course, especially if someone has a big mouth. Yes. And if somebody has a big mouth, be upfront, let them know, sometimes I tell people I don't share things with you because I know you're a big sharer, right? You don't have to say they have a big mouth, but you can say, but I know you're a big sharer, and I don't always want the things that I share with you shared with everyone. So there are things that I choose not to share with you, right? So that's just a nice way of saying that you have a big mouth, and I'm not telling you my business because I know you're gonna run off and tell everybody, right? So that's the kind of thing. You share more, you're more open and more willing to share things than I am. And so I'm careful with what I share with you because I don't want all my business out everywhere, right? So something like that. If you all have something that you want to share with a person and you don't know how to say it, just type it in the chat and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it for a few minutes. A lot of times people think that if you are a sharer, that you are willing to, because you share, and I know I've had this happen before too, sometimes, maybe you have some good friends or even my spouse, right? You may share some things with them and that you really only want shared with them, and then they will go off and tell everybody, right? So, and you're like, wait a minute, that was just for you. I didn't necessarily want everybody to know that, but they think, well, you share everything, right? You share so much, but that doesn't mean you want everything shared. So sometimes you have to let people know, um, what you're comfortable with them sharing and what you're not. And anything, like I say, anything that you really just don't want known to anybody, don't share it. Don't share it. Don't talk about it. So people think a lot of times just because you're on social media, maybe that you're an open book, right? Well, you're on social media, you tell, you talk, but maybe you share certain things on social media, but a lot of things you don't. So, make that known to people so that they don't have this expectation that just because you're on social media, that you're willing to have your whole life put out there, or, that you're willing to just share everything about who you are, or personal private matters, because, and this is something that I think is really important to learn to do. Can I share this out, right? Ask somebody, can I share this out, right? Is it okay for me to post this? Because sometimes people will, I see people posting engagement announcements, deaths, divorces, burials to the whole world before the people have even told their families or the people that they love and care about. So don't post things and share things on social media that you have not gotten the approval of the people, of the person whose business you're about to reveal. Okay, especially pictures of events that you've been to with them, pictures of their kids. They may not want their kids, shared on social media, but you've already posted a picture of that. So be careful, what you are willing to, what you put out on social media, because just because you're a big social media person, or maybe they're a social media person, doesn't mean they want everything put out there. So get people's permission. Ask, is it okay for me to share this? Is it okay for me to post this? Do you mind me talking about this, or do you mind me mentioning you? Whatever it is, and get their permission before you just put stuff out there. So you can make sure that you don't, offend somebody, or, get into a situation that you didn't mean to get into, just because you've put stuff out that you hadn't gotten permission to do. So that's another thing you want to be careful about sharing. And the last thing I'll say, if no one has any issues that they're struggling with or trying to figure out how to share, is impact. When you are considering whether or not you should share something, or if you want to share something, think about what kind of an impact will me sharing this have on them, right? Them knowing this information about me, or about whatever it is, what kind of an impact might it have on their life, on our relationship, on our life, whatever the situation is. And if you think that it will have an impact on them, you may want to say something like, I have something I need to say, and it may impact you in this way or that way. So we may need to make some decisions. You may want to make some plans, change some plans, whatever it is. Let the person know, like if you're about to share something that's really big and really important, or that may impact them negatively or positively, let them know, I have something I need to share with you that's gonna, might be a little hard for you to wrap your head around. Right? So be willing to be open and share those things. So anyway, that's all I kind of wanted to talk about tonight. How are you all doing? Y'all have anything you're struggling with? Anything you on your mind you want to say, or just let me know. If not, I will go ahead. Let's see. Minister Tower says yes, 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 absolutely. All right. So yeah, be open, be willing. Think about the impact of what you're sharing. Yes, thank you all truly for being here. For those of you all who came in late, I know I haven't been on as much and doing my morning talks because my work schedule has gotten just crazy busy since life has opened back up from COVID. And so I'm really trying to restructure and try to refigure out when I'm going to be doing lives. So they may not be at 5 o'clock in the morning anymore because I know a lot of times people are off now. I mean, how many of you all are, have your schedules changed for the summer? A lot of people aren't up and going to work as early anymore, especially if they're, teachers and teaching and all that kind of stuff. So, but anyway, my life has changed quite a bit. So I'm going to try to figure out, please make sure your bell is on because I may be doing more random lives versus scheduled lives. So if you are a part of this family, make sure your bell is on so you don't miss my lives. And that's really about it, guys. I hope y'all are doing well. I hope life is going good for you. I hope y'all have some travels and some vacation plan for the summer. I hope you're getting out. I hope you're still staying safe and practicing, caution and all that. And I really just pray that you're working on your, relationships and your communication with people. Now that we're getting back into the mix with people again, we can start implementing some of these skills and lessons that we've learned. Thank you, Minister Terrence. I appreciate it. So we can, get back to building healthy relationships with the people who are in our lives. All right. So I'm going to say a quick prayer and then I guess we will go ahead and head out. All right. Father, thank you for loving us and keeping us each and every day. You do so much every day that we see and things that we don't see. You protect us every day from hurt, harm, and danger and the evils of this world that we don't even know are coming, that we never feel because you've already intervened and protected us and kept us out of harm's way. And we thank you for that. Father, we just ask that when we are considering what we should share or not share in our relationships, that you give us discernment, that you help us to keep our mouths closed when it might be best to keep our mouths closed, and be willing to open up and talk and share the things that we need to share when it's important, when it's going to make an impact, when it may change the trajectory of the relationship. So Father, just help us to keep our ears close to your word and our hearts close to your spirit so that we can hear clearly when it is you're calling us to speak and when you're calling us to be silent. So Father, just heal broken relationships, those who are struggling in their communication, for those who were watching in the background who'll be watching later, trying to decide whether or not they should, reveal this thing that they want to talk about or whether they should not. Give them peace about whatever decision it is that they need to make and prepare the hearts of the people who need to hear the things that need to be shared. Father, we love you. We thank you. These things I ask in your son, Jesus' name. Keep every person, bless their lives and take care of them. We love you. We thank you. These things I ask in your son, Jesus' name. Amen. All right. 7 p.m. Central every night. Is that what yes, that's what you're on, Minister Terrence, 7 p.m. Central every night. Yes, you are doing something every day. Hey, V Loves TNN. How are you, sis? Good to see you watching up in the skybox. All right. I will chat with y'all again soon. Make sure your bell's on. I appreciate you. I love you all and continue to be the light out there in the world. Be the light in your relationships and just stay focused. All right. Take care. Love y'all. Bye. Oh, the revival. The revival. Okay. I see. Yes, the revival starts tomorrow night. Yes. For those of you all who are not connected to Minister of Music Terrence Trower, also Vern's Gem Closet. If you're a YouTuber and you are trying to grow your channel, Vern's is the person that you want to be connected to. Okay. Do not be out here on YouTube and not be connected with people who are helping her sole purpose, her sole goal uh, in her channel is to help people grow. So if you have a goal to do something on social media, to do something with YouTube and to grow your channel, get connected with her because she is genuine. She is faithful. She's committed and she is consistent. She is consistent. So get connected to Verne's and you will not be sorry because she gives so many great tips. And I am where I am today, further than probably what I should be because of things that I have picked up of learning from her. So yes, get connected to her, get connected to Minister of Music, Terrence Trower, all of you, Natural Larissa, she has a channel as well. Yes, their revival starts tomorrow night. So yeah, get Minister of Music, Terrence Trower has just church on demand. So if you're still afraid to go to church and be sitting next to people, get on his channel. He always has amazing interviews that he does with people who come on and minister the word. And he's just phenomenal at that. And he plays and he sings and he worships and it's all genuine. So it's not a show that he puts on. All right. So, get a part of these channels. There are great people out here on YouTube. If you want to, change the trajectory of your life and your relationships, be connected with people who are doing good and positive things in the world. It's really that simple. Birds of a feather flock together. So, get connected with people who are doing good things and are trying to do good in the world, and it will help you to stay on track and stay focused with the things that you are trying to do in the world. All right. Okay. So you all take care. I love you. Get connected with people. And like I say, be the light out there. Be the light. All right. Bye-bye.